Today I am with Nigel Clifford, the CEO of Symbian. So Nigel, tell me, where is the smartphone market headed now?
For me, one of the biggest opportunities is to move into lower cost, higher volume phones. And so with some of the categories I've been speaking about, you're now looking at phones which are 70, 80 cubic centimeters in size. Very small, very small. And they're also, we're helping this trend because we've cut our prices. We offer new pricing models so that people can reduce the price of the phone in order to get it into some of these lower cost categories, as well as doing things like single core, single chip 3G devices, which again will be cheaper to get into these lower categories. Well, we see three trends. We see the continuation of just mass market adoption into lower price, higher volume, mid-range categories. We see more sales in the developing marketplaces, very interestingly, places like China, India, and we also see the rise of the youth market, which is going to be a hugely unpredictable ingredient which we're adding to the smartphone recipe. So I think we're in for a really interesting few years ahead.
So you mentioned the youth market. What types of solutions do you think will appeal to this market?
Well, smaller, neater, cooler devices which are catering to their interests. Well, what are their interests? Gaming, TV, video, audio, music on the move, and also their social networks. So what we're seeing is the smartphone being integrated into how they live their lives. So I can see it at home, and I'm beginning to see it in my business world as well. For example, we've got with the video and picture messaging, we have things like Flickr, obviously, but we also have applications like Shozu, which is an application where, as you take a photo, it automatically asks you if you want to upload that photo to your digital data vault, and then you can share it obviously with your colleagues via the Flickr service. So applications like that, which are integrating your social network, your phone, immediacy, imagery, spontaneity, I think we're going to see far more of on the phone.
And what do you think is pushing smartphones in the developing world?
I think there's a couple of things. Firstly, the rising economic state of these nations. We've got a bigger middle class beginning to absorb these devices, but also I think we've got a rising tide of micro entrepreneurs who are using this device instead of having to try and find a PC, which is often in an internet cafe. They have to queue. These devices provide them with internet, mobility, and an ability to run their business on the move. So I think we're seeing a number of different trends in the developing marketplaces. So China, one of our fastest growing markets at the moment.
So why do you think there's been so much more interest now in the mass market for smartphones?
Segmentation. So intelligent segmentation by the handset vendors and by the application providers. So if you look around you at the show, you will see products which are destined for the sporty person. So with pedometers, with calorie counters. You've got devices which are targeted at the elderly population. So you've got them with exercise monitors, you've got them with panic alarms, you've got them, really interesting, simple application, use the camera to magnify a page. So it's that kind of niche targeting which we're making available through innovation on our platform. So it's affordable innovation where people can develop once and use it often.
So how do consumers then hear about solutions such as the health monitor if they're not advertised?
That's a very interesting point. So I think at the moment we're still at the early adopter stage where people are seeking these out. I think we're going to move into a situation where they become more talked about, they become more promoted, and they become promoted by service providers, by operators, as a way of driving more and more use out of their networks. So I see more and more discussion going on around how to make this device more and more useful to you personally. So you've got things like the 3G doctor, where you can apply a blood pressure monitor. It will take your blood pressure. It will then use the 3G network to take that information to a real live doctor who will give you a diagnosis. So there's a range of different applications, different services, which are growing up around this very personal device.
So will we be seeing seamless handover on dual mode phones while we're using them?
That's coming. That's not there at the moment, I don't believe, but that will be an aspiration to create seamless connectivity between different bearer networks, different radio connections.
And what direction is mobile TV headed in?
With a number of these trends, we look to the east and we look to see what's happening in Japan and Korea. So in Japan, there's now 2 million digital TV handsets being sold already. So for them, it's not I wonder what will happen. It's already here. In Korea, 10,000 handsets a day are being sold to take advantage of the free-to-air TV shows. So it's a whole innovation wave which is already happening. And we were very pleased last week to see NTT Docomo launching 3 new Symbian-based TV phones. And we'll showcase some of those at our press conference. Very, very slick devices. And we're seeing the crossover there of brands. So we've got Sharp with their Aquos brand, actually bringing their TV brand onto the handset. So I think we'll see more of that.
What kind of content can we expect on mobile TV?
You're going to see not just broadcast TV, but you're also going to see recorded TV coming out onto devices which are very, very attractive and appealing. So no compromise.
And what are some of the trends and developments in the wireless market?
So we've launched a number of wireless LAN enabled, Wi-Fi enabled phones already. So we see some of this being demanded, but we also see in some situations operators and handset vendors saying, on this device we're not going to offer it. But I use a device which is wireless LAN enabled, so when I'm at home I can use my local wireless LAN.
Right.
The smartphone now has 40 or 50 different services, consumer electronic devices packed into this really small, neat, portable and very elegant device. So convergence is happening. Convergence of devices, convergence of services, so Yahoo on your PC, Yahoo on your mobile phone, Google on your TV, Google on your mobile phone, and convergence of networks. So 3G, digital network, IP-based networks, all coming together. So you can see it, you're at the center of it here today.
Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you.